to that. I have seen this most of the times. But then I
Uh,
feel once I feel that I'm avoided, I don't disturb them again. I feel like okay, okay.
it's okay. Let them speak. That's a good thing. I
Yeah.
really when I talk to you during the class, like I feel like before the class in the beginning, I was like stressed,
Uh,
wanted to sleep, but now I like it's okay. I would like to talk to you before.
so happy, so
Yes, everybody has struggles in their life, so keep focusing on your goal. Think about future, not about the current or the past, what happened with you. Then only you will be able to, overcome from this problem. What are your views? What are your points?
regarding what was the question, I got emotional with the flow of your answer. I kept myself in your position. I started thinking something else and I completely lost.
I
Honestly, when you said that, don't think about the past or whatever has happened, I just completely got lost. What was my question?
everybody, everybody. The question was which you asked, like how to be focused. Okay. So our today's topic is inflation. So let's have a discussion on this topic, inflation, as it is already at peak, correct? Uh, at peak. So I wanted to know what you think, like what comes first to your mind when you hear this word inflation?
Only poor suffer inflation.
Poor.
I have this real example and I would like to decipher it to you here right now. Few months back, I purchased my new phone through my income, YouTube
Mhm.
income. I purchased my new phone. For YouTube purpose only, I purchased it. It's Android phone, but
Mhm.
the cost was through my hard work. Okay,
Correct.
I bought it with cash. That at once I paid entire amount, and
Mm-hmm.
I had discounted rate also when I paid. I saw a couple who were poor middle class people. By their looks, I could guess that they were poor middle class. They could not afford phone for rupees 10,000. They could not
Okay.
afford. For
Right.
10,000 rupees, they were trying to schedule their EMI on monthly
Yes, they are
basis.
doing this EMI,
And
right?
through EMI, they had to pay extra because their
Absolutely.
EMI would go beyond the limit that for either 1 year or 2 years, they had to
Right.
pay some interest amount
Some extra amount.
every
And I
month.
don't think so, it's not a smart option to buy a mobile phone, and with that EMI, it's better to buy a phone which can cost you less than this. That would be more good option than buying a mobile phone with EMI. Yeah, go ahead.
I possibly think that they might have some need. 10,000 for me is not a big cost, but for them it was. So
Mm.
maybe they couldn't afford it at that moment, so they had to buy it. But when talking about inflation, it affected them the most, isn't
Okay.
it? That the poor person who cannot afford 10,000 at the moment is paying the highest amount for that 10,000 cost because he cannot pay at that same time. So even if they are offering EMI option, the victim is the person who is managing the cost, who is bearing this expense. So I feel
Yeah,
this is injustice
I,
sometimes. The
no, I
profit goes in the pocket of
the poor
yeah,
you
please.
wanted to say. But I wanted to make you aware about this thing. What do you think why people are poor? What is the main mentality which is there in your mind why they are poor? Don't think that the earns less than us. Never think. They
Hmm.
do earn, but if I talk about financially wise, how to spend your money, that's something matters, right? I have seen a lot of people. I have seen people like aunts. Like if I talk about, let's talk about the one vendor, right? Let's take an example, vegetable or whatever the vendor it is. They usually earn. I'm not saying they have a very high income, they are rich, but the way they spends their money makes them poor. That is something you should be wise with, how to spend that money. Earning is more or less same, right? I'm talking about the middleman and even the one who is poor, more or less same, but when it comes to spend that money in a wise way, that makes them poor and that makes us middle class. So
Okay.
like you said, like you told, like when I said buying a mobile phone with this 10,000, you told it might be a need for them,
Hmm.
right? So I do agree, definitely might be possible they have to take their online classes for their child or something
Yes.
urgent that they need to have. So we cannot blame them like why they are buying this 10,000, either they can go for less than that. That depends. So that depends. And even you are right that when you said that inflation is something, because of that what happens, the price is something which is shooting up and makes them people more poor. So absolutely correct.
Hmm.
Okay.
And I find, ma'am, sometimes no. I don't know if this is a bit harsh statement, but sometimes, not in every case, sometimes parents are also responsible for the status of their child. At many places, even when
Abs-
I'm traveling. And yesterday, I saw a woman begging at station platform. One child was lying down on the surface, and one she was holding in her hand. I mean, you yourself are so poor. You cannot manage financial stuff for your own self. You have two children lying, and I feel the age gap would be just a few months, maybe just
you-
9 months only. Okay,
Yeah,
because it takes 9 months to conceive. So this
right.
much difference.
Yeah.
And one child was lying on surface in a bad condition, and one she was holding in her hand. So if mother herself does not think of all this, then the bringing up or the nursing of the child, which is happening in that condition, the child will also grow up to be that
Very
person. So
difficult. What
sometimes parents are also responsible for the act they commit, and the parent is the child afterwards. But when
what
we look at our parents, I mean, they sacrifice
I
so
would say
much for
a lot,
us.
too much. They like having a phone is like a big thing. Nowadays we have mobile phone of 20. My like I own Apple one, so it's like for me it's like all right, it's okay, nothing. But for when I asked my mother and father, they used to say like we don't have these mobile phones also at that time. They do have money. I would say literally they do have money. They can spend it, but they knows which can makes them like makes their child's future better than this. So they have
Correct,
spent
correct.
their money on our education, and because of them we are here at where I am and where my brother and my brother is also. So that is what I said no in the beginning only. I said how to spend your money is something which need to
Mhm.
be taught at this
Yeah,
age, not
yeah,
to the students, not to the parents. I'm saying from to the children, because this
correct.
is the only age which will help them to know about this inflation. And
Yeah,
I actually suggest you here one more thing, as it is already a platform where everybody listens us. So I suggest to go for an investment. Not for investment. I'm not talking about investment in stocks at this age. If you're not
mhm.
aware about it, start with saving in the deposits. If you have seen in FD also,
Yeah,
or with
yes,
any other thing,
yes,
that can also help you to grow up with the inflation. As
yeah.
inflation rise, but you have your saving with you, which can makes you little more.
Hmm.
So as I am from the finance background, I can literally say that you would have to start saving. That is
Yeah,
something is the best thing to fight with this inflation in this world,
yeah. I have one more alternative.
right?
And that alternative is, along with saving, keep working on your mental health
Yes.
as well as your mental potential. Because the more you upgrade your talent, your skill, and your well being, all these three factors will ultimately be a genuine source for more income, and more income will help you cope up with inflation in a better way.
Right.
Isn't
Absolutely right. Absolutely
if I'm
correct.
sticking to this normal, mediocre, or not tempting towards doing something more
Something
than my
new,
own self, then I
right?
feel that I am stagnant at where I am and I don't dream of anything better than this. Then there's no point in saving, because whatever you're saving with that less income is somewhere going to end. It's not
Absolutely.
helping you. It might help you in certain ways, but
If you are
inflation
investing,
is something which upsurges in such a way that you can't even predict at certain
absolutely.
points.
See, investing should be done in that thing that can generate future income. Like as you told, skill. If you will invest in your skill, definitely it will give you a wonderful return in the
Hmm.
coming future. But investing in the buying things which can never gives you return, which will only create expense in the future. For
Hmm.
example, if you are buying a car, right now it
Yeah,
looks good to have a car, have two
yeah.
cars, cars, four cars. But when it comes to insurance, which you have to pay, the when
Hmm.
it comes to the different repair and whatever the expenses, the maintenance charges, what will happen,
Yeah,
you will end up with paying all those expenses, you will left with no money. So it's better to own one car. It's okay, we are not saying like not to have car, have
uh,
one, but spend it wisely. That's what we can say. And if I talk about what is the reason behind this inflation, there are two reasons. One is demand.
uh,
Like people have this much demand. Like if I talk about the rich, if you have seen that why this government has the policy of
uh,
progressive tax, Like, I hope you're aware about the policy of progressive tax, like from people, the one who earns high income, they have to pay
Mm.
high tax, right? What is the
Yeah.
reason why the government is using this policy? Because they know if a person will become rich, right? If he's
Mm.
earning more, what he will do will create more demand. And more
Yep.
demand means, again, the one who is poor will not be able to get that thing, and he will get the thing,
Yes.
same thing at higher price. So again, the
Yes.
economy will go like this. So
Correct.
absolutely. Okay, so any question which you would like to know or wanted to ask?
How do we manage to stay positive even, inflation is just a single aspect,
Think,
but apart from inflation, this is one factor which affects mostly poor people.
mm,
I completely rely on that factor because rich people are never getting affected with inflation. Honestly, they do not get affected and they don't think. In fact, when I
mm,
even go out for a purchase, I have just 1,000 rupees, I have to think twice that is it
absolutely.
worth spending money here or no. I
No.
think. But I see people, those who get down on the car, they simply don't think of anything. Okay, we want this. They don't even ask for the price. How much does
No.
it cost? Where's
They
the
want
QR
it, they
payment?
will take it.
They
Right.
pay, they pay like they have so much. I don't know the reality, what is whatever it is. But for
Mm,
people like us, we feel that they don't even think for a moment before spending. This is
right.
their status. But I feel that this inflation is one factor, but apart from that, stress which comes along with inflation, with career, with employment, all these things. How do
Mm-hmm.
we stay away from this stress? Everybody here is stressed. All those people who are watching us, they would have different stress of learning English.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Understood.
so how do we
Over.
manage to work hard in such situation and continue working continuously
Mm-hmm.
without getting
Towards our
stressed?
goal.
Hmm.
Right. So one thing I would like to mention here, the one thing actually I wanted to add here, that is your goal. Your goal should be clear, right? If you feel just because of English, if you feel like I'm unable to speak English, what will happen? Focus on it. Focus on your goal. What is your goal? If you feel like my goal is to become this, but you're thinking like right now I'm unable to learn English, how I will reach there? So focus on it. Have like work on it. Isn't it that? Because working is something that is something which is required. Until or unless you will not work, you will not be able to achieve your goal as well. So this is just a stage as you will reach. It will take, there are lots of things will come in your way. I would say there will lot of things. I literally say from my end also, I have seen a lot of things while studying, while because I was not from very rich family, I would say. I was also having a lot of problem during my childhood. My mother used to tell me nowadays. So everybody has struggles in their life. So keep focusing on your goal. Think about future, not about the current or the past, what happened with you. Then only you will be able to, overcome from this problem. What are your views? What are your points?
Regarding what was the question, I got emotional with the flow of your answer. I kept myself in your position. I started thinking something else and I completely lost.
I
Honestly, when you said that, don't think about the past or whatever has happened, I just completely got lost. What was my question?
Everybody. Everybody. The question was which you asked, like how to be focused. Like we have these
Ah,
much of problems in
yeah.
our life, so
See,
how to be
this
focused.
is the real example of my focus that I even forgot my own question. I was so much focused while you were answering.
Yeah, this is
So,
wonderful.
I am a keen listener than
Yes,
just
that is very
uttering
important.
everything. I listen, I
Because
pay
conversation
heed to what.
two
Hmm.
two ways. Because if you will not listen, how you will respond, right? You'll be like, what to speak now?
Yes. But at
Absolutely.
the same time, some people do not tend to listen actively. They only pretend that they are listening. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Your answer matters. But they aren't actually listening actively to that. I have seen this most of the times. But then
Uh,
once I feel that I'm avoided, I don't disturb them again. I feel like, okay, okay.
it's okay. Let them speak. That's a good thing. I
Yeah.
really like when I talk to you during the class, like I feel like before the class in the beginning I was like stressed about wanted to sleep, but now I like it's okay. I would like to talk to you before.
So happy, so happy. This is the biggest compliment from a tutor. Thank you so much. If I'm able to relieve stress even 1%, 1%, then I feel that I have some purpose. I have some belonging for being here on this planet as a human being, being something to somebody.
Right.
So
Like it was
what was the
great.
yeah,
The question was the same, that how to be,
how to
how not to
remain
be
focused?
distracted. Simply how not to be distracted, how to be there, like we'll be able to achieve our goal.
Yeah, but I feel, ma'am, just by answering this question will never suffice anyone, and everybody watches motivation these days, and for a certain period of time, they have this spark of doing something, 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 but
Hmm.
after a very quick limitations of time, they lose this temptation of doing anything, and they come back to the same routine where they were. So having this willingness from within, when circumstances are against you, very much against you, and torturing you each and every moment of your life. Today I would say that since morning I am doing sessions for my other things, not English but other things, and then I started with English sessions, and then I am taking session late night right now, and I feel that I'm completely energetic. I don't pretend to be that, oh, I'm so tired and exhausted. No,
So
because
your
I
best
know.
friend, you knows what is your goal, right? You knows
Yeah.
like I have to do this video. I want my, the audience to see this video. That is why you're focused,
Yes.
right?
Yes. So this should be the aim, that what am I doing and why am I doing? If it
Right.
has a purpose, you should not be like somebody told that and urged you to start doing this and you simply started and you have no aim of reaching at a point. So I believe that tomorrow I have to upload this video. If my viewers find me that, ma'am, are you sleepy? Why did you even record the video then? So I have to be focused. I feel that having purpose is most important thing, and at the same time, people go through. I have went through so much. At this age, I feel that I have emotionally become so strong that nothing affects now. I don't know why, but nothing affects me now.
It's a bigger level of maturity you are.
The
Right.
circumstances,
I,
everything
from your
is
past
learned.
experience, you are
Yes.
sharing this.
Yeah.
I understand. All right. Okay, that's great. And it
Are we
was
ending our
really
session?
nice conversation.
15
Really,
minutes
like
end. 15
yes,
minutes ended
it's ended. So
quickly.
yeah,
Okay.
it's too quickly.
Okay,
So
ma'am. No
okay,
issues.
see you
I'll disconnect.
in the next.
I'll see you in the next class because you are most demanding tutor now. So I keep booking sessions with you, with
For
Drishika
sure.
ma'am, with what is that tutor's name? Muskan ma'am
Okay,
and Yogesh sir. Or some of the tutors, are very much liked by my audience.
better.
So I
That's
try
great.
getting them over
Keep
and over
doing.
again.